Hello. I'm Axeljan Q Diaz. I'm going to discuss about queues in data structure and algorithm. So, what will you expect from the video? I'm going to discuss about what is queue, method you will use in queue, how to initialize and apply the different method in coding. So let's start. What is queue? A queue is a useful data structure in programming. It is similar to the ticket queue outside a cinema hall, where the first person entering the queue is the first person who gets the ticket. So queue follows the first in first out, or FIFO rule for short. The item that goes in first is the item that comes out first. We must memorize this rule in doing our queue. So in declaring and initialize a queues, so being an interface, the queue needs a concrete class for the declaration. Objects cannot be created of the type queue, and the most common classes are the priority queue and linked list in Java. So to create and initialize the queue using this linked list queue, we must first type the import java.util.queue and import java.util.linklist, declaring and initializing our queue. So we need to type our queue in the data type inside. It can be integer, double, string, and etc. And my queue here is the name of the queue that you want, and equals new linked list, open parentheses, and semicolon. So the first in first out representation of queue is this. So in programming terms, putting items in the queue is called in queue, and removing items from the queue is called deck queue. So adding an element from the queue will require to type the add and the open and elements that you want to add, and close parenthesis to add an element from the end to the end of the queue. It's supposed to be 1, and 2 is the next one that added. And to remove or the queue, you must type the remove and open and close parenthesis to remove an element from the front of the queue, just like how lines work in real life. And the pick method here is to get the value of the front of the queue without removing it. And is empty, open and close parenthesis, is a method to use to check if the queue is empty. So there are also many methods in doing queue. I did not include all of the method that is used in queue, but you can check it in tutorialpoint.com. There are different lists of method there in using queue, and I also get the example here in tutorialpoint.com. So just like just like I said earlier in the video, the import java.util.linklist and import java.util.queue to declare and initialize our queue. So we type the queue in the data type. This can be integer, string, library. Since it's integer here, since we enter from the example, we must also put integer inside of our queue. To add the method to add elements in the queue, we must firstly type our queue here, queue, and add an elements inside the parentheses. And repeat that you want to add 30, 20, and 18. So the queue here will before rule. uh, and here we the code here printed is q. The q is equals to q. The the q here is the content of the added elements in our queue. So from like I said earlier in the video, we added 25. This is supposed to be the first. 30 is the first. I mean 25 is the first. 30 is next from the queue. 20 and 18 is the last from the queue. And it will retrieve an element at first head position using pick. So the pick here are, are gonna pick here at q, q, q. Since this is q, is going to be picked at q, and the value at q in the first position is going to be outputted here, which is 25. And print all again, q is equals to plus the content of the q again. So the output, see, 25, FIFO rule, first in, 25 is the one first, 30, next, 20, 18. And we speak here, and it retrieve 25 value, because this is the first one in our queue. And the printed again, done. So using this add using this add method and removing method, we can now go to our next example, our last example. This is we will create we create a linked list instance to show queue, add, pick is empty, and the size of the operation. So to apply all the method from our PowerPoint, firstly we must type the import java.util.linked list. Wait, sorry. Java.util.queue. And we will type the queue, our type, our data type is let's try integer again. And our name, the name of our queue is going to be barbecue. New So let's I need no, number na lang, number na lang pala. This is integer, so this is supposed to be a number. So let's add number. Let's add some number here. That add no, not size. 12. Let's try 12. So let's add 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So add um, 11. Just try na just just a random number. Let's add a random number. 5 and 10. So we applied the add method from the PowerPoint earlier. And let's try to print the content of our queue. System. Oh no, did I lag? Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah. And queue, queue is number. This will print the content of our queue. Next, let's try removing a number. Let's apply all the wait, no, let's declare integer queue dot remove and done. Ay, hindi, number pala to, number. And this will print ay this will print the queue from the front of the from the position from the first position of the element. The element after deletion is oh, let's try that is num1. So that is done. We must type the elements the queue after deletion, so we can see our remaining content of our element, the remaining number of the element. Wait, plus the number again. Oops. We just need to apply all the method from the PowerPoint. And let's try integer again. Our pick method here. Let's try queue number dot pick. Wait. Let's try the head is head, and on, and the size here. So we must print the size of our cube to see what is to count the cube. Oh. Cube. Ako ng cube. Number. Q dot size. Number dot size. Oh, this is also a method to count the Q of your element. The size over here. System print. Oh, it's not print. Ah, and then. So let's print the size of the Q. QU is now, so we can see what size. So we can see what is the size of our Q. And let's try Boolean. If our Q is empty or not. Q is empty. Q tuloy. Q naman ng Q. Dapat number to. System. Outer print. Oh, LN. Forgot. And let's try questioning. Is the Q, wait, yes, is the Q empty? Is it or is it not? I don't know. Oops, I forget result. Yes, result. And lastly, to print the final output of our cube. And add that and our number again. So we'll know what will happen in our cube. Okay? Here. So we added 12. Oops. Sorry. So we added 12, 11, 4, 5, and 10. And remove 12. Yes, because in our first rule, I mean, first in first out rule, since we added 12 first, uh, the we will remove 12 in our cube because it is the first position in our cube. And after deletion, we printed the Q again to see the element inside the cube. And the 11 here is the head of the element. Since we deleted the 12 here, it is printed as 11. And the size of the y5 4 1 2 source, that is the 4 cube. And again, the uh, the q here, the boolean will answer if it is true or false. So we can see that the queue is not empty, so it brings us false. And finally, the final contents of our queue. We printed the number again here, so we can see the final product. That's it. Thank you. I'm Axel Jan Q again. I hope you learned something, and goodbye.